Waveline, presented by Ocean Lending. Thanks for tuning in to the Waveline. I'm your host and CEO of Ocean Lending, James Edwards. I'm sitting here with one of our top sales agents, Michael Miller. Michael, thanks for joining us here today. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing fabulous.
Awesome. So I want to kind of tune into and talk about how you became part of the Ocean Lending family and the culture here. You have a really interesting story, and the way that you came on board, I think everyone needs to hear a little bit about.
Awesome. Well, I mean, it's a little long, but I'll try to cut it down for you. I mean, it starts 2013, 14.
Yeah.
Well, actually, early 2013, I reached out to Dan, the other owner, and he was a branch manager at the time running the operation, and he emailed me and said, "Hey, I saw you're looking to get a home." And at that time, I was young. I had two babies at home. We were renting an apartment, and obviously the dream was, how do I buy a house?
Right.
So I was working hard, and Dan kind of gave me a roadmap to getting a loan. And I still will never forget the day in November. It was close to Thanksgiving, where my wife and I, we were driving around the Harveston community in Temecula, which is where we wanted to live. And we saw them putting a sign up for sale of this house at the end of a cul-de-sac. And we looked at it, and we were both a little sad, because we didn't think there was any way we were ready to buy that house.
Right.
And so I called Dan. He kind of gave me some more things to do. And about 15 days later, he's like, "Look, I have a loan for you. We can get you a loan." So I reached out to that agent that was selling that property.
How did that feel, too, by the way? Let's share with everybody. When you get approved for a loan and you're about to move into a home and change your life forever, what's that feeling like?
Well, it was still one of those weird moments where I didn't really believe Dan.
Right.
I was absolutely, scared to death that, well, maybe he didn't see everything. Maybe
he missed something.
He missed something.
It's not going to work out.
Yeah. How am I going to have this money? I mean, I had scrimped and saved, and, my wife and I had really cut back in order to get the down payment money we needed for an FHA first-time home buyer loan, and 3.5% down. And, we thought we could do it, but there was still that level of like, this is really scary. And I remember when he gave me the pre-approval letter and said, "Go shopping, call me when you got a contract."
Had your name on it.
I know.
Your wife's name
exactly.
on it.
And I called the agent of that house. I didn't have a real estate agent, and she said it's still available. And so I went to a buddy of mine who's a real estate agent. We wrote an offer, and it was accepted. And so It was a crazy process, because I remember the day they were putting that in, and I just didn't think there was any way we were going to get to it in time. Yeah. And we ended up getting that home, and it's kind of a funny story. The seller of that home ended up becoming – she's a teacher at my son's elementary school in the community.
Oh, wow.
So we're really close with them. We know them real well now.
Oh, awesome.
But yeah, it was a crazy, roller coaster. So we get into the house, which is always, I mean, honestly, I don't think I looked at anything in order to get into that home. I didn't, what was it going to take?
It's got a door, it's got a roof. Yeah, I'm in.
Where do I sign?
Yeah.
Right. Now, as soon as we get in there, obviously then you start to look at, okay, what am I paying per month? What, what's their interest rate? What are the loan terms? What can I do? And so, I mean, I want to say maybe 10 months later, that's when I did my first refi with Dan. So I did a purchase in January. We closed January of 14.
Right.
And then I think I did my refi in October, November of 14 to get out of the FHA loan and into a conventional loan.
So it's kind of something we talk about all the time. He was drawing you a roadmap.
Yep. He
in. Now you're starting to build some equity.
Exactly.
Now you can get better terms.
Yeah.
Get the payments down.
Exactly.
Progressing in life.
It was awesome. And so, he did 2 loans in that 1 year. And then about a year and a half later, rates had dropped again. And it made sense. Dan reached out to me. It made sense again. Hey, you want to lower your payment $200 a month? It's like free money.
Right.
So I did another refi in 2015. And then 2017 came around, and now it was time to look for a bigger home. Our kids were older. We needed some more space in the same community. Mm-hmm. And we used Dan, and we were able to, parlay that house into a bigger home in the same community. So in a span of 3 years, 3.5 years, I did 4 loans with Dan
Right.
in Ocean Lending as a customer.
Right.
And it's kind of funny. I mean, if you go on our Yelp page, my review from July of 2017, it's still there on Dan and Karina. And hey, I've done 4 loans with this guy. He gets you approved in fast and, closed.
Gets the job done.
Yeah. So, I mean, really, I always think back to where we all have moments in our life where your trajectory changes.
Right.
And becoming a homeowner was a huge change for me. I mean, in 2014, I paid $360,000 for my first home in Temecula. That same exact home recently sold in our neighborhood for $700,000.
It's crazy, right?
And it's one of those things where you can't see that coming down the road, but it definitely changed things for me as a homeowner. It gave me more write-offs. It gave me more, flexibility. And, it's always nice when you have 2 kids growing up in the same neighborhood.
Right.
Consistent. My kids have been in the same school since kindergarten. That was a big thing for me because I grew up moving around. So
plus, you don't just have another asset
Yeah.
too. You have a home for your family.
Exactly.
Where you lay your head at night
Yep.
too. So that's really cool. So now tie the whole thing kind of back into how you became an employee at Ocean Lending.
Well, and so after 4 loans with Dan, I got to know Dan pretty well, and there was always that
He
just
didn't scare you off at that point, huh?
a little bit, but there's always that. Just like buying a home, it's a little scary to make any type of jump or career change. Now, I'd worked in banking and real estate for the last 10, 15 years in other avenues and other aspects. But, COVID hit in 2020 and there was a time for me to reassess. And so I'll never forget, I picked the phone up. I gave Dan a call.
You're already in telesales, so you already kind of knew.
Yeah. And so I gave Dan a call and said, hey, I got my mortgage license. I went out and got it first.
Yeah.
And then because I knew
you'd been shot down right away.
Exactly. So it's a business. You got to be licensed. I have my California real estate license too, so it's pretty easy to understand. So I got my license, my mortgage license, in May, and I gave Dan a call once it posted in July. I gave Dan a call, and he said, I said, hey, I've done 4 loans with you. Right? I think you owe me at least an interview. He begrudgingly agreed. And I started here. It's kind of funny. Today's Tuesday, exactly 1 year ago.
Today. It's been 1 year today. And we're doing a podcast. And that's just awesome. It's totally meant. Everything in life is meant.
Yeah.
That just shows you right there.
Yeah. It's been a blast. I mean, it really has been, this last year, my personal production's been at I believe it's $50 million. So,
Mike, you have been one of the top salesmen here, and it's been a blessing to have you on board. We love having you here. Hopefully you love being here as much as we love having you here. But it's just amazing how quickly you came here and you picked up really fast how to deal with people. That's the thing, is you already knew how to deal with people, and that's what the Ocean Lending way is, taking care of your client. And if you help enough other people get what they want, you'll always get what you want. And I'm a firm believer in that as well.
Zig Ziglar.
Zig Ziglar. I'm a big Zig Ziglar guy.
It's amazing because one of the best things about being here and doing this is seeing me when inside of other people, inside of my clients. So I see me and the person that's buying their first home. I see me and the person who's doing their refi and saving $200-$300 a month.
You're really helping people out. And when you want to help people, then it's not a job anymore. It's a career, and it's something that you're doing to help other people's lives.
It's a ton of fun.
Right.
It really is. And at the same time, you're building relations. I mean, the nice thing about us being licensed in 15, 16 states.
Yeah.
And I tell my wife I could go anywhere in the country and have dinner tomorrow.
True.
Because I've got so many
probably for free too
in different parts of the country,
Right.
So
right.
It's a lot of fun.
Man, it's just an awesome story. And it's I guess to be continued, because we're going to find out what happens from here on out. But nothing but great things for you, and I'm glad that you shared that with all the listeners out there. And anything else you want to share before we kind of sign it off?
Hey, you know what? You have to be in this world. You have to take care of the people that take care of you. And I really think it comes full circle. And
always.
I mean, with Dan, really changing that, being that pivotal moment in my life. One thing I will tell you is, I didn't believe it could happen. And Dan was that push to go do it. And that was a huge factor for me. And so when I got to come on board, that's been one of the highlights of my career is being able to do that for other people.
Awesome. Well, that's some good stuff, man. Thanks for sharing that with us. And we're going to move on to some other topics, but thanks for coming on by.
Yeah.
For more information, please reach out to us at www.oceanlending.com.